Welcome to Teen Talk. I'm Nick Calvi, and I'm here with campers from Renbrook Summer Adventure to discuss today's topic, global warming. Global warming is such a highly debatable topic, but I'm going to convince you to go green anyways. The fact is, whether you like it or not, the Earth is changing and it is all our fault. We pollute the planet every day by doing just the most simple things. For example, driving a car, burning a candle, or even just leaving the lights on when you're not in the room. We can reduce the impact we have on our planet without drastically changing our lives. So many people have this common misconception that going green is super expensive. I can tell you right now that I am living proof that anyone can afford it. I'm in no way rich, as my parents have made me pay for all the green products I bought by myself. So, Katie, what do you think is a cheap option that can be used to save energy?
Well, I use shower timers to take shorter showers, so I usually play a couple of songs, maybe 3 or 4, and it helps me take shorter showers. A different way that you can use is the little cooking timers, and you can set maybe 5 minutes, so it helps you take shorter showers and save energy.
So, Jack, what's a way that you like to save energy at home?
I like to save energy by drying clothes on a clothesline when it's warm, especially in the summer, because it saves energy rather than using a dryer.
And Mikayla, what do you use to save energy?
Well, normally whenever my parents go grocery shopping, we use recycled bags. And another good thing about recycled bags is that some of the grocery stores give you like a discount if you use one of their bags from that store. So like if I use this bag and say it was a Stop and Shop brand and I went to Stop and Shop, they might give me a discount because it's recycled and it's their bag.
Let's go to our other campers at Renbrook to see how they can prevent global warming.
Turn off the sink when you're brushing your teeth.
Teenagers can bike to certain places that they want to go instead of driving there.
To help the environment, you can reuse your cans and bottles, which will get you money and also save the environment.
Take shorter showers.
You could carpool or use the public transport instead of driving your own car to school.
We could walk places instead of driving there, or bike or scooter or run.
Some way kids could help protect the environment is they could pick up all the trash that they leave instead of just leaving it on the grass, because if they left it there, it would end up blowing around and it would start to pollute all over because the wind would take it everywhere. And they could also, you could create less trash like using reusable containers and bags and things like that.
If we don't go green, there are so many consequences that could happen. One thing that is happening right now is global warming. Global warming is where there are so many greenhouse gases in the air that heat cannot leave the Earth. This causes the polar ice caps to melt, thus destroying the homes of many animals. This will also make the sea levels rise. Within 100 years of these changes, Cape Cod will be completely underwater. Later, New York City and eventually most of Connecticut and Rhode Island will start to flood. Another horrible thing that global warming causes are more severe storms. The warmer temperatures over the oceans will cause storms to form much more violently. Here in New England, we have already experienced some of these storms. We have had Hurricane Irene, Winter Storm Alfred, Hurricane Sandy, and Blizzard Nemo. All of these crazy storms were caused by global warming, and if we don't do anything about this, these storms will just get worse and we will lose cities to the sea faster. So, how did you guys deal with the last October storm?
Well, my house, we had a generator, and a lot of our friends and family came over so that they could have warm meals and stay in a warm house, because a lot of my friends lost power.
And how did you deal with it, Patrick?
Well, I went to a relative's house who still had power, who luckily was far away from the storm, but all the snow broke down the power lines and we stayed there for 3 weeks.
Wow, yeah, I personally lost power for 2 weeks, and we weren't able to run our generator that often, so we ended up having to throw away all our food.
We took our food with us.
Yeah, with our generator, we were able to save a lot of our food, and some of it we stored outside because it was really cold and there was snow.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, and during the storm, I'm a swimmer on the Farmington swim team, and our season was cut really short because we weren't able to get to the training facilities, and it was really dangerous, and we couldn't swim.
All right, let's go to our Renbrook campers to ask what will happen if we don't do anything about global warming.
The water levels will rise and the earth will overheat simultaneously.
If we continue to pollute the environment, the world's going to become a worse place to live in, especially for the future generations. Animal species could die.
We'd get like lots of acid rain and kill trees, and then we wouldn't have oxygen and die.
Well, eventually, this probably won't happen, but we could either flood the earth or we could all die because we don't have enough oxygen because we cut down all the trees and there's no more grass, and we just should not do that.
If we continue to pollute the environment, everything would be dirty, and it wouldn't be safe for people to live because you'd have all this not necessarily toxins, but it wouldn't be the nicest air. And if we started killing all the plants because of the pollution, then we wouldn't have anything to breathe, and it'd be really bad. It'd be a domino effect, and everything would start to die.
We can prevent all of this by going green. There are many ways of helping the environment, no matter how insignificant that they seem. One easy thing to do is turn off the lights when you leave a room. You never know how long it'll be until you come back to that particular room. Speaking of lights, another thing you can do is replace your incandescent bulbs with fluorescent bulbs and LED lights. Even though fluorescent bulbs use less power than incandescent bulbs, LEDs use even less. Also, fluorescent bulbs are extremely toxic to produce and cause thousands of deaths each year from the people who live near the mercury mines, which is the gas that they fill the fluorescent bulbs with. One of the best things you can do is create your own electricity with a solar or wind power system. In the US, electricity production causes the most pollution out of any other process. What's great about solar and wind energy are the prices are falling, so now anyone can start out with something small and eventually upgrade their system with the money they save from not having to pay as much on their electric bill. And that is what I have been doing for the past year, and I can say it is well worth it. By running my lights and charging my laptop and phone, I have cut off $15 a month on the electricity bill. So Jack, what do you do at home?
Well, I have these LED light bulbs, and they work very well. Typical bulbs like those usually use 60 watts, but this one uses 8 to 12.5 watts. That's almost a tenth of the power that the regular light bulbs use.
Oh, Rachel, what do you do at home to help save energy?
Well, when I leave my room, I turn off the lights, and a lot of the time I just open the windows to use natural light. And I also unplug everything that I'm charging when I'm not home, so that I don't use extra electricity.
Well, that's very great. John, do you have any tips for the parents out there?
Well, one of the things you guys can bring to your parents' attention is a program that Connecticut Light and Power offers. It's called Home Energy Solutions, and it's $75 for most families. And the way that it works is there's a crew that will come to your house, and the first thing that they do is they hook an exhaust fan up into your front door, and they pretty much create a vacuum within your house. And then they go around to test to see if any air is sneaking in around window frames or door frames, anywhere else that air could get in. And they'll caulk as necessary to plug up areas where air sneaks in. That'll help to make your house more energy efficient. They give you insulation rebates and other rebates to get more energy efficient appliances. Another thing that they'll do is install low-flow shower heads and faucet aerators, which reduce your water consumption. But since you guys were talking about light bulbs, one of the things that they'll do is they'll put in those compact fluorescent light bulbs in your entire house. Anywhere where you have an incandescent light bulb, one of the traditional styles, they'll replace it with a more energy efficient light bulb. And all of these services, all of these services for $75 is a pretty good price. Another thing that they at least used to do, and I'm not sure if they still do it, is to give you something called a kilowatt meter. And this is the one that I got from CL&P when they came to my house. And what a kilowatt meter does is you plug it into your wall outlet, and then you plug an appliance into it. And it'll measure how much energy it's using so that you can actually find out how much money that appliance is costing you throughout the year to run. You can also get a smart power switch. It automatically switches off power when you turn off other appliances. So there are a lot of different things that you can purchase to help your family.
So have you guys heard about that new smart surge protector?
Oh yeah, that's that power strip that has the main one, right? And you plug
Yeah.
you like for example, if you're plugging in your computer and all the stuff, you'd plug in the computer to the main like power outlet, and then the other ones would be like your desk, your the screen, the speakers, all that other stuff. So then when you turn off the power strip, it'll leave the main. It'll like sense that the main one has been shut off, and it'll turn off all the other appliances. So you don't have to manually turn off all of your computer appliances.
That's true. There are also other kinds of power strips, like ones that are differently spaced and ones that you can bend, or even ones that you can turn off by remote if you're lazy. And even just getting a regular power strip saves power because you can just switch it off. You don't have to manually turn everything off.
Besides saving money, there are quite a few other benefits of going green. For one, going green makes you very independent. When the power goes down and you have some solar panels, you can still have electricity and not have to wait for the power company to turn your power back on. Eventually, if you upgrade your system enough, you could even have your house disconnected from the grid and not pay anything at all. And in addition, you have helped give the Arctic animals a fighting chance to survive. So, Andy, what do you think about generators?
Nick, I think that generators are very useful if used correctly. Generators have to be used outside because they create a deadly gas called carbon monoxide. You can't smell or see carbon monoxide, so it will fill up your house and kill you and you won't even know it. Signs of carbon monoxide poisoning are getting dizzy or lightheaded, so that means that you should get outside and get your generator away from the house.
If you're paying attention to the news during the October snowstorm, a lot of people died because they ran their generators in their basement or in their garage. Rachel, what do you think of generators?
I personally think that they're a good alternative to solar panels because solar panels aren't always reliable.
Solar panels can't necessarily be consistent with power considering it's not always sunny every day.
No, I know, that's what I'm saying.
I'd say that solar panels, a lot of people think once it's cloudy they don't work. That's actually not true. They do still work actually very well. They just don't put out as much power, but they still put out enough to power your house. Also, one of the downsides to generators is they can damage any electronics because they spike. The voltage will spike a lot when you turn it on and off, and my uncle actually, it destroyed his heater, so he couldn't run the heat in his house.
Well, personally, I think generators are better than solar panels. The only reason I have a generator that we use during our October snowstorm, and we store it in like a box made out of wood outside, and it keeps down the noise so you can't hear it while you're inside, and it closes so if any carbon monoxide comes out, it stays in the box so it doesn't get into the yard and it doesn't get into the house. So I find generators to be very safe and reliable.
For any of people out there who are interested in starting a solar setup, it's actually not as expensive as you might think. I put together a very small solar setup, and I started out with a $100 panel, put out a fair amount of power. There was a $50 battery, and it was able to power lights and a phone for a few hours during the night, and a $20 inverter, which is what converts your battery power into the regular household voltage. And this system, it's not like jerry-rigged or anything. It is protected with fuses and is completely safe. And what's great about this system is there's no emissions and there's no maintenance required. All in all, there are so many consequences of not going green, but there are also quite a few easy ways to stop these problems. Anyone can easily go green and help save our planet. You'll be able to benefit yourself as well as the entire community at the same time. So go out there and help us stop global warming. I'm Nick Calvi, and this has been Teen Talk. Thanks for watching.
Funding for Simsbury Community Television is provided in part by contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.